Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. This is our Beast Tamer Bard run, episode 21, I believe. And we have just saved the storyteller from some Baphomet cultists. Now we're gonna read some books. The Keen Edge of Truth, Recollections and Admonitions of the Inquisitor of an Inquisitor of Asmodeus. Wow, really? Okay. The demon lords whose names are known to mortals number no more than a few dozen. Far more numerous are those who aspire to that rank in their own abyssal realm, but who are as yet unable to make a bid for such power. There are hundreds, possibly thousands of such demons, but their names are known only to experienced demonologists, and to those unhappy fools who decide to sell their souls to the abyss, and fail even to find a worthy patron for their trouble. Time and time again, one of these weaker demons will secure a resounding victory, scale the heights, or should that be sink to the depths, of the demon hierarchy, already fancying themselves a demon lord when they soon make a misstep and die an inglorious death. The fate of such a demon could serve as a lesson to the rest, but if demons possess the capacity to learn from their own or others' mistakes, would they even be demons? No. A stubborn refusal to learn is one of the major flaws that distinguish the bedlam of the abyss from the well-ordered hierarchy of hell. The demoness Izyagna, she of the sevenfold swarm, serves as an example of such a fall from disgrace. One of the many daughters of Lamashtu, she possessed 7 bodies, 7 mortal women of the various races of Golarion, each with an ant's head, controlled by one hive mind. She commanded various insects, swarming, crawling creatures, with ants her especial preference. The author of these words witnessed the oath of obedience sworn by cultists of Izyagna with his own eyes. The witless initiate was forced to meditate while sitting atop an anthill. However, the human sacrifices being carried out by this fool's brethren around the little town I was serving in at the time were far from amusing. It required no small effort to destroy the cultists, who had been summoning ravenous swarms and spreading madness in the name of their mistress. So, what became of her? What fate befell Izyagna? The particulars are unknown, but consensus holds that the mistress of the crawling swarm ran afoul of the master of the flying swarm, the far more powerful demon lord Descari. Only Lamashtu's intercession saved her daughter from death, but not from abasement and the loss of her powers. Consequently, most of her followers forsook for the cult of the Mother of Beasts. Today, Izyagna is worshipped by a handful of individuals who possess a stubborn predilection for sitting on anthills. And even to them, she can grant only minor spells. That's interesting. How to make money during the war against demons. Wow. My mentor and training partners used to feel sorry for me. I had enough power to summon and hold a lesser imp at best. Would you call that real magic? Ha! But there's nothing a smart lad like me can't use to stake out his reputation and make his fortune. There's one particularly nasty sort of demons called abracandalus. They are made of the souls of vandals and destroyers of art. In demon form, they continue to do the same. When they see beautiful pictures and statues, they fly into a rage and desecrate them. I once overheard a conversation on the street between 2 art collectors. They couldn't decide whether they should patronize a young and promising artist or famous maestro whose best days were behind him. So I made them an offer. How about we place the 2 paintings side by side, and I'll summon an abracandalu. Whichever painting it attacks first would naturally be the more beautiful. The key was to banish the demon in time before it destroyed the painting, but that wasn't going to be a problem for me. The collectors agreed to run this experiment according to my plan, and thus my legacy began. 3 months later, not a single art event could do without me and my demon servant. We were invited to exhibition openings, appraisers' workshops, and auctions. The more the enraged the demon became. The more enraged the demon became. Typo there. On seeing another carving or slapdash daub, the higher its price soared. They paid me well for my appraisal. I often staged artist battles in which the demon would choose which of two paintings it despised most, and the tickets sold like hotcakes. However, there was one unfortunate incident. A gnome and an elf came to me from Absalom, two young bright-eyed artists. They wanted to enter one of these battles, but they offered peculiar sculptures art instead of paintings. The gnome had a huge pile of nibbled apples preserved by a spell. The elf had a watering can without any holes, which stood on a cart with one square wheel. This, as they explained to me, was modern art. It was, how did they put it, unconventive or some such thing? They claimed it was popular in Absalom, where the gnome and the elf were very famous, unconventive artists. My job was simple: to display their works, gather an audience, and release my demon from its prison. That's precisely what I did. But the Abercondalu came out of its cage, looked at the apples and at the watering can from the cart, and then looked at me like I was a complete idiot, turned around, and went back to its cage with an expression of utter disappointment. It was nearly an international scandal. I was so upset that I even returned the money for the appraisal to the gnome and the elf. But it's all right. My business still thrives even without the Absalom clientele. Meanwhile, where are my more talented fellow apprentices? Half are still crouched over books learning what they can. The other half went off to those ridiculous crusades and perished. They never consider that demons can be used to make money, and a lot of it. I think I'll soon buy myself a little palace, cover its walls with the works of all the most famous artists. Ha! I mean, that's honestly kind of funny.
Beautiful.
Very, very creative. Good job. Got a stunning barrier, that's, and a crap dagger.
Can't hide from me.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
Temples of Iomedae, Father Lorien's Guide for Neophytes. Traveler, if the road ever takes you, again, I need some way, because, look, I will, in a game like this, I will read every single book. But if I find a copy in the first 3 hours of the game, and I find a copy 40 hours into the game, I'm not going to remember whether or not I read it. Please, 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 on your little lore drops, give like a little check mark. You've read this book. You know? Something. Like, please? Traveler, if the road ever takes you to the outskirts of Canabras, do not shy away from taking a few more steps and entering the city proper. Apart from the ramparts and the fortifications that stand unshaken, barring the path of humanity's foes and the noble orders that keep their watch against the forces of evil, Canabras holds a treasure of a different sort. In days of old, in the fire and the upheaval of the Second Crusade, it became the site for the first and the most crucial of the wardstones, sacred obelisks that have the power to avert a demonic scourge, no matter how accursed it may be. No evil creature can pass betwixt two such stones that now stand along the edge of the Worldwound and shelter the peace of all Golarion. Even vile demonic magics are powerless against them, for the abyss cannot cross the unseen curtain of the wardstones. Well, you know. Should you arrive at the right time and be virtuous and respectful towards those who guard the wardstone, you shall be granted the great honor of sharing in one of the rituals that support the magical strength of that holiest obelisk. This is interesting. We haven't heard about this before. This artifact and the spells invested in it are most sacred, for every wardstone was raised by the herald of Iomedae himself, the closest of her servants, one who is selflessly devout to the Inheritor's cause, the Crusaders' great mission. And even if you cannot reach the wardstone, do honor Iomedae's splendor in one of Canabras' churches. Pay thus your respect to humankind's protector, The sacrifices made by the Crusaders for the good of our world. Sweet. Cool. Let's check a door.
Let's see if I can sneak around.
Leather armor. Magical essence, you say? Aha! Magical quarterstaff. Quarterstaff of coercion. +1 quarterstaff adds +1 to the DC for all will saving throws against spells the caster casts. I feel like we might want to use that, potentially. Alright, and then we have Knowledge World DC 25. That's pretty high. Let's save.
This experiment has gone awry.
Failed. Nenio actually has a higher Knowledge World check than us. Modifier's 12, +12. She does. She does. She has higher intelligence. Well, I want to know what that is, so let's load. And get more wine! More wine!
This experiment has gone awry.
We'll try a couple times. We won't try for eternity. If we just can't get it, we can't get it. Oh, oh! Or too much wine.
A failure is just a step to a success.
Damn. Rolled a 3 on that one. My goodness!
This experiment has gone awry.
Okay, I just need like a 13 or higher, y'all. Which is, I mean, a high roll, but it's not like I'm going for like a 20 or nothing.
It went splendidly.
There we go. This is a statue of the mage who founded the Blackwing Library. He cut the wing off of a demon known as a Vrock and hung it above the entrance. Cool. It's neat. I wish I could see it a little better. Regardless, though, interesting, and I think probably for me
What's going on here?
more useful. Will negates. Will negates. Will negates. Yeah, I'm going pretty focused on will. Like either will scenarios or summons, basically.
I feel like a chosen one.
So I'm super down with getting that, actually.
Should I?
+1 DC for all will saving throws. I like that. I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, another big one.
This experiment has gone awry.
A 2? I rolled a 2? You. We're refreshing everything. Save scum to hell and back. What is this
Anything
equips
new?
bite thing?
Are we ready to move out?
I think the game is... I'm already aware, kind of what's going on with Ninio, just because I've seen screenshots. Hard to avoid things like that on the internet. But It's definitely like...
A success worthy of praise.
Yeah, there we go. Some monstrously large demonic blade fell upon the library, splitting the ruins in two and leaving an enormous black scar. It is possible that Daskari himself was the one that destroyed this building with his terrifying scythe, Rift Carver. Okay. Like we can't really get across. No? Alright, sounds good. Let's grab Storyteller and GTFO. Oh, will it? Okay. Let's save. Because we could always come back for him, I assume. Free Storyteller. Yeah, let's take him. Yeah! Oh, Dodie Bodie. Oh, Dodie boy. Oh, Dodie Bodie. The Bodie. Oh, my son, go back to sleep. Go on, go back to sleep. Hey, we've returned. Neo's here, Storyteller's here. Ember is in my room. Woljif's here. It seems like it's probably time to talk to people, I guess. So, let's do this. I think. This is thanks to Chris Lighthawk, potentially, if I get this right, for pointing this out. But aha, gotcha. I see what it is now, right? The comment that he made was, you'll never figure out the puzzle if you don't loot the shield on the wall. And now it makes sense because there is a button. So now let's try everything in the up position and then button. Okay. Everything in the down position. And then button. Let's turn this back up because it sounded pretty... Well, there's only so many options, so... Nope. We'll do...
Let's see what we can do.
This one down. Nope. That's it. What's going on here? Look at this fucking, like... See, this is why I was like... I was gonna be like gold... I guess white and blue would be the same, but I was gonna be like gold and blue, right? But clearly, right, we have white and red right here. But I remember seeing, like, blues, and I was like, yeah, maybe that's Iomede's, you know, color. But apparently not. Okay. Alright, hold up. Headband of Alluring Charisma. My goodness. That's pretty good for me. And then we got a bunch of spell scrolls, mage armor, shield, magic missile, potion of lesser restoration. That's great. Elemental essence. Very good. That's super exciting. Honestly, like, that's super duper exciting. We've got 25 charisma now. Holy shit. I'm a charismatic motherfucker. Yellowed letter. momento, I gotta check a Dominions thing. Quick. Yep. I had to get an extension on a game. Betrayal. Betrayal of the highest order. Alright, let's go. Half a century ago, our parents fled their homeland of Sarkoris, terrified of the invading demons. They were certain that the war would soon be over, so they didn't go too far and found their refuge here, Canabras. They used what little savings they had to build a tavern where any crusader could get a bowl of soup, a good night's rest in exchange for some money, news about their recent victories. The city looked completely different back then. A triumphant city, full of hope, inspiring songs, brave paladins in shining armor. We praised Our Lady Pelura openly and hoped that the lands of our ancestors would be ours again in no time. Things have changed since then, though. Our parents have left the goddess's halls. Dresden, long gone. World wound grows deeper every day. Crusaders seem to take more interest in finding each other and us townsfolk than in eradicating demons. Ulrun has gone mad, now puts all his inquisitive zeal into burning witches. Today, Canabras is a city of fear and suspicion, and had to hide our altar of the Shimmering Maiden in the basement. They wouldn't accuse us of demon worship. Queen Galfrey has recently appointed Hulrun the prelate of Canabras. Now nothing will stop this murderer from taking complete control of the city into his hands, serving his so-called justice on everyone. His previous acts of violence were just the beginning of a full-scale massacre. Have to flee, run like our parents did. This time not from demons, but from the Crusaders. Soon we shall sell our tavern and leave, anywhere away from the agony of this endless war. Allura protect this city from whatever comes next. 10th of Lamashon, 4682. Swargel family of the Devimai clan. Silver inkwell and fine feather. I'm assuming we might be able to find someone later on to be like, hey. I mean, it might not even be later on. Actually, I should talk to those peeps down there real quick. Guys? Never mind them. Not them. Oh, shit. Alright, let's talk to this guy. How may I help you? Perception 20. I think Kaylessa might be a drow. I met Kaylessa. Under what circumstances? I hope you seize the opportunity to kill her. Are you certain of your allegations? Orn lowers his head and says in a hollow voice, I am. Misdeeds are terrible and proven with absolute certainty. She claims she doesn't serve the demons. Of course she does. In an attempt to buy her life, you would stoop to the boldest and the most egregious of lies. Whose word do you trust, hers or mine? No one's. I do not trust people in games like this. For a reason. I let it go. Your decision is regrettable. I'm afraid that in doing so you've condemned her many future victims to death. I suppose it just means that bringing this hunt to a close falls upon my shoulders. Fortune to you. Okay. Alright, he is the Erastil man. We have already spoken to Woljif. Talk to Gemel. Show me what you have. Let's sell bulk stuff real quick and get that over and done with. Got so much stuff. Oh, like a sort button? Hum. On one hand, I kind of just want to be like, sell the crap I'm not going to use. On the other hand, I don't have all the characters yet, so I don't really know what I'm going to use. I know I'm not going to use things like the Masterwork Glaive or Masterwork Short Sword. So. Already have that. Actually, don't want to sell that. I want to give that to Amelia potentially. The Dark Horn. Okay, so that's E. Those are easy. And then everything else is not. Okay. That's 300 something pounds. Jesus. Nice. Is there anything in here that I was like, oh, I was pretty hype about? Increased cantrip damage. Was it not him who had the good stuff? No, it was the armor, right? He's got a lot of potions though. There are moderate wounds. There are light wounds. All of them. I'm legitimately considering that, honestly. Like, keeping people's HP topped up in this game is fucking intense. The only reason I'm not immediately like, yes about this is because the fucking... the return of investment is a little low on these things. But still... we're down to 13. I'm definitely considering it. Especially since, like, I could probably sell... oh, those sell for crap. Wow. Well, regardless, I'm still pretty sure I can sell a fair amount of stuff to be good. Like, we still have plenty of weapons to sell off. Yeah. Alright. We'll hold on that thought, but I'm definitely considering it. Okay, what just happened? The defender's heart greets you with unexpected liveliness. Beyond the walls of the tavern, the once bustling and festive city lies in ruins. But somehow, none of that can be felt within these walls. The people in the room are talking, laughing, raising toasts, even softly singing. It doesn't look like typical tavern revelry, but nor is it the grim vigilance of recent days. Sela waves to you. She's sitting at a table with the trio you met previously, the knight, the half-elf, and the red-headed halfling. Kajak, come, let me properly introduce you to Elan, Janna, and Kurl, fearless warriors of the League of the Inspiring Cart. Sela pushes a mug of beer towards you and speaks softly. It was me who convinced Irabeth to use what Janna, Kurl, and Elan found for a little party. Look out the window, you might think the end times have come and the abyss has devoured us all. I thought some simple pleasures, good food and good company, help keep the gloom at bay. Sela looks at you hesitantly, as if trying to gauge your reaction. Trying to decide if I want to lean more towards the good side or the chaotic side here. I feel like I've been being a bit chaotic here lately, so we'll go good. I understand. We need to continue living and fighting, however hard that might be, in amidst the chaos that has fallen the city. Allow me to declare my support for Sela's decision as well. Experience tells me that we should shed no tears until after our victory. If we start to mourn the fallen whilst the battle is still raging, we'll be jeopardizing all our efforts. Now's the time for rest. We'll bury the dead after the last demon has been driven from Canabras. Oh yeah. Hey, why are we just going... Hey, are we just going to sit here with grim faces? I say we get to know each other a little better, so we have a better reason to toast. What about you and your order, Elan? As story goes, it's not very entertaining. I was born far to the south in Andorran. Lost my parents early, led the life of a simple mercenary. I'd often questioned the path I had chosen. I'm proud of my sword skills. I enjoy training and drills, and I'm not afraid of battle. Risking my life for coin? Takes a special mindset to choose that lot with no regrets. You have to want to risk your blood. I saw too many of my friends die, and I wondered if it was worth it. So, in the end, I decided to choose another path. Now, if I'm going to lay down my life, at least it'll be for a good cause. That's how I ended up in Mendev and became a squire for the Houndhearts. It's a small order. By tradition, it never has more than 12 members, and a new member is only knighted after one of the elders dies. Ah, gotcha. So, are you a knight now? We patrol the lands along the Wardstone line, provide aid to travelers and settlers. Fortunately, death is common among the Houndhearts. I became a full knight 2 years ago after laying my mentor to rest. That answers that question. But I'm content with my choice. My place is among the Crusaders. Nice, I like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's things that are cool about, like, you know, the Order of the Flaming Lance, like 3,000 crusading knights, you know, bad. Okay, cool. Fantastic. But there's something, like, quintessentially fantasy and cool and interesting. Maybe not fantasy. I think it's actually got pretty good historic precedent about smaller knightly orders, right? Like, knightly orders that have very strict, like, membership numbers, right? Like, there are only 30 Knights of the Silver Moon, some shit, you know, what have you. That type of stuff is evocative, though, right? It's like, why? Why are there only ever 12 Knights of the Houndhearts? Why that number? That's interesting. What led to that? Anyways. I've been serving in the Eagle Watch for long, Jenna. I signed up 4 days before the demon attack. Am I lucky or what? Jenna lets out an overly boisterous laugh. I'm an apprentice of a famous fencer master from Mivon. I don't think we've heard of that place yet. Mivon is one of the more stable of the river kingdoms. It began as a refuge for the Aldori sword lords, of course, who fled Rostland during the rule of Corel the Conqueror. Many sword lords settled there in Mivon, bringing with them the experience and knowledge of the ancient discipline of the sword lords. Now I'm remembering it from Maker. Warriors from as far away as Garund make pilgrimages to Mivon to study their secrets. To earn the right to stay, the applicant must pass a series of increasingly difficult duels. Interesting. And I learned a thing or two from him, believe me. I soon got bored of fighting off bandits and getting involved in the petty squabbles of the bickering river kingdoms. I wanted a proper challenge. You can't find a better place than Mendev. And what do you know? The moment I arrived, the demonic invasion began. My father would say that's no accident. Fate brought me here. What about you, Curl? How did you end up among the condemned? I just did what everyone else was doing. I grew up in the slums, where everyone stole a little. Maybe smuggled or guarded stashes, or... Earl stares into his mug gloomily. I never killed anybody. I never did anything really bad. I got caught stealing. When they made me choose between prison and the condemned, well, of course I didn't want to go to prison. Not that good of a fighter, but as Norgerber is my witness, a thief can also be useful in war against demons. I've always been a good scout. I can sneak under the nose of any monster, but I don't know where my friends are now. We got separated when the demons rampaged through the city. Norgerber. Norgerber is known as the once mortal god of thievery and assassination, as well as a keeper of secrets. He is called the Reaper of the Reputation by some, but he has more insidious titles among worshippers who venerate his other three aspects. Blackfingers, Father Skinsaw, and the Grey Master. He remains an enigma to most, and his true motives are unknown. Many of his followers remain ignorant of his plans and designs. Norgerber is the only evil god amongst the Ascended. Interesting. Chin up, friend. Wherever you were in the past, you're our friend now and a crusader. Your skills will be useful to us. You'll see. How do all of you know Sela? I met my noble sister on the road to Canabras. I was returning from the south from my fiancée, and was happy to be in the company of a paladin of Iomade. Said our farewells at the city gates, and I went north, along the road to Dresden, to my order's camp. Ilan's face grows grim at the mention of the camp. The demons attacked us there at the same time they struck Canabras. We managed to fight them off. We hurried to the city's aid and joined forces with the Eagle Watch. All my fellow Houndhearts were wounded during the battle in the streets. The last knight of my order who can still fight. So good to see Sela again. Every loyal heart counts these days. I met Sela at a tavern in Canabras, before the attack, of course. She was one of the few who would sit at a table with the condemned. Knights usually don't even look at us, but Sela's different. I knew it the moment I saw her. That's what made me notice Sela too. So I sat down to talk to her. I never understood why everyone treated the condemned so horribly. I still don't. Our Curl is a great lad. So, after that night, Sela and I went around the taverns together every day. Hello, D. What's your boy? What's your boy? Cha-cha-cha. Endev is an amazing place. People from all over the world come here. Glory, redemption. Keep those in or help those in trouble. And always find each other. This might be the best place in the world to find like-minded people, friends. That was a toast, in case you didn't notice. Sela, did you call me over just because, or is something the matter? I didn't just want to talk about today's celebration. You see, Elan is in trouble. I want to help him. I don't know anyone else in the city I can turn to. Fellow knights were all wounded in battle. Elan shakes his head. Bad idea, sister. I told you. I don't want to bother anyone else with my problems. I need to handle them on my own. Oh, come on. Hiding your sadness from your friends is no way to live. Pearl is right. Ajak helped me find you. Without his help, I'd still be looking for you all over Canabras. So, Elan, come on. Stop being so stubborn. Tell me more. The young knight shakes his head. In all truth, I do not wish to impose. My problems are just minor troubles. The paladin of Iomade and her friends certainly have more important things to do, especially now that Canabras has been overrun with demons. If I've learned anything in life, it's that there's nothing minor about good and evil. That's the fucking... It's the Geralt of Rivia statement, right? Lesser, greater, middling, all evil. Sela begins seriously, but then a smile lights up her face. Take the three of you, for example. Seems like all you did was save one cart from some lesser demons. Look how many people are happy now. That feat will never be sung of in songs. Who knows? Maybe thanks to this one joyous hour of peace and rest, the defenders of Canabras will find the strength to protect the city. Sela catches her breath. Talk too much, don't I? Well, Sir Elan, I want to help you. My reputation as a holy warrior of Iomade won't suffer if It's more of a minor adventure than a glorious feat. The knight sighs and seems a little embarrassed. Alright, I'll explain. The life of a crusader has given me more than just a purpose and a chance to serve a righteous cause. When I abandoned the life of a mercenary and came to Mendev, I gained something else I never expected. It's here that I met, may all the ladies here forgive me, the finest girl in all the world. The miracle she found any love in her own heart for a bungler like me. Not about to let this miracle go. Not even the demon lord Tuscari and all his demon army can stand in my way. Luckily, my beloved is now safely away for Canabras. For half a year, I've been getting up my courage to propose to her. I even ordered a ring from Derek Sunhammer, the best jeweler in Mendev. Independent knightly orders live mostly off donations. I'm not what you would call rich, but I so wanted to make Kiana happy. It took me 3 months to find a jewel the same shade as her eyes. Twice that long to scrape together enough money. Master Derek's work was worth it, but I lost the ring during the demon attack. I'll probably never find a worthy replacement. The ring most likely still at the Hound Heart's camp outside the city. Elan and his friends didn't have time to pack up their camp. First the demons ambushed them, then they rushed off to help Canabras. I think we should at least go there and check. Not right now, of course, but once the situation in the city is under control. What could we run into at this camp? My friends and I killed 2 large demons attacking the camp, then rode straight to the city without spending any more time cleaning up the rest of their band. It was only a few imps, but they might still be at the camp. Of course, this was a while ago. Our camp was attacked at the same time as the Wardstone in the main square. I haven't been back there since. I'll help, absolutely. Thanks for agreeing to help. Elan is a good man and a true knight. The world should repay those who are so devoted to doing good. Let's help him. He can propose to his beloved the way he wanted. Abso-fucking-lutely. Sela, I hope you can convince Irabeth to let me go with you when you do this. I don't want to be parted from my friends. Of course, if the League of the Inspiring Cart has come together in this dark hour, we must continue onward together. Fuck yeah. I like it. Alright, let's talk to Sela again real quick. It's fine. Good. Pearl, Elan, and Jana don't have anything specific to say. Camellia, anything new? Nope. Staunton Vane, anything new? Okay, we've got Ninio and Ember. They're going to be fully new. So we'll start with Ember. £126? That's not bad. Okay. Talk to Ember. The elf in front of you is young, still an adolescent by the standards of other long-lived folk. A childish, carefree smile plays on her face, and her wondering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off again into the distance. Terrible scars cover her body, and a few of her fingers are missing. Crow sits on her shoulder, observing you with its clever black eyes. Tell me about yourself. Well, they call me Ember. I used to live in the River City. Now I walk with you. That's my story. It's the River City. Canabras is a city of glory, but not one of spotless virtue. Until the First Mendevian Crusade, it was a small town perched atop a bluff overlooking the West Selen River. During the final dark days of Sarkoris, hysterical refugees splashed across the river and sought safety behind the walls of Canabras. At first, these refugees were allowed in unquestioningly. However, a Lilitu demon named Monago entered Canabras magically disguised as a refugee. Once inside the town's walls, she revealed her true form, and this is just the Canabras thing. Okay, so it's just the River City is a different term for Canabras. Why do they call you Ember? I have many names. When I was little, Mom and Dad called me Dove, or Cricket, Kitten. Dad called me his ray of sunshine. And when my mom was cross, she called me by a long name, grown-up one. Can't remember it, no matter how hard I try. Then, when I came to live in the River City, the good people called me different funny names, like Ember, or Torch, or Smoky. I don't know why. They called me Bird Brain because I have a crow. Called me Lucky Seven because of my fingers. The girl raised her hands, middle finger on her right hand and the two smaller fingers on her left are missing. They sometimes called me grilled meat, said I was stupid, but I didn't feel hurt. They're right, I really am silly. Didn't mean to hurt me. My God, Ember. I like Ember. It's a good word. Embers are like people. On the outside, they're gray and cold like stones. They're warm inside. You can blow on them and they'll start a fire to help you survive a cold night. Wonderful, isn't it? Ember it is. Where are you from? Far away, from the flower country. The girl gestures vaguely off into the distance. It's so beautiful there. Everywhere there's flowers blooming, golden towers and waterfalls. Everyone is like me. Pointy ears. No round-eared people. No short ones, no horned heads. Live there together. Me and Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad argued a lot. Dad used to say that all the good people should go on the crusade and fight the demons. Mom said he was silly because it was so far away and none of our business. That he shouldn't abandon his child. She meant me. But he didn't abandon me. He took me along. He said I was born the same year that the whole demon world opened. That it was a sign that I would be one of the heroes who closed it. Of course, I'm not a hero. I'm here anyway, helping as much as I can. My God, Ember! Where'd you get your scars? Oh no, we know this one. It happened by accident. My dad and I came sailing down the river to join the crusade. Dad said that all the good people were going to the world wound to heal it. He said that the crusaders were the best people in the world. Together, we were going to win. But when we arrived at the river city, the crusaders got everything mixed up. Thought my dad and I were bad and decided to burn us at the stake. Dad died. I cried so loudly that one good night realized it was all a big mistake. Started yelling at the other crusaders, even as the one in charge, then walked right into the fire and got me out. The other ones wanted to stop him, but he took out his sword and scared them away. My God. The kind knight took me to a healer. I later learned that while the knight was pulling me from the flames, he himself was burned so badly that he died not long after. But I'm still alive. A few fingers missing. My skin is funny. I lived in the river city ever since. I had my own house, but I've had many friends. And then the demons came, and I met you. You know what happened after that. I'm gonna hit them with the conscious or chaotic one. Must have thought they were doing something lawful and just. What happens when people let the law do their thinking for them, instead of their conscious. That's true. No, you see, for some reason they were afraid of us. We were their friends. There were lots of them and just two of us, and they had weapons. But they still looked at my dad and me like we were gonna bite their heads off. Even when we were already on fire. Even when that good knight was carrying me away in his arms. Looked at us. Terror. It's because you're super creepy. I don't think fear ever has any reason to it. It just lives inside people. Makes them do evil. You worship any deity? The girl shakes her head with an unfailing smile. Dad taught me to pray to Iomade. He said she was a kind goddess, and she called people to crusade against evil. The knights who burned my dad and me worshipped her too. Even lit the fire with a prayer to her. She did nothing to help us. But then, one kind knight, alone, without any gods, changed his mind, saved me. I think the gods are the same as us. They don't understand anything. They're scared of everything. So they hurt themselves and the rest of us. People worship the gods only because they're afraid of being responsible for themselves. The gods listen to the praise, become smug and arrogant, begin to believe that they're better than us. They're no better. They're silly sinners just like the rest of us. My God, Ember! Sometimes I pray to the gods. Different ones. The good ones. The bad ones. I ask them to stop. Stop fighting and hurting each other. I don't know if they ever hear me. But if they do, the knight who wanted to burn me, he was able to change his mind and do a good deed. He can change. Maybe Baphomet can too. How'd you survive on the streets? The elf shrugs. There are many good people in the River City. When I sang for them in the street, they'd often give me coins or bread or sometimes even clothes. I shared everything with the other homeless. They showed me where it's safe to sleep, where I could get out of the rain and cold, where I could find discarded things. When the demons destroyed the River City, I looked for my friends, but I found no one. Probably all died. The homeless have no supplies or weapons or basements to hide in. The knights won't protect them either. Knights are like gods, so self-important. Saving the world, after all. What do they care about the homeless? Still smiling, the girl shrugs. Dear Lord. Where do your magical powers come from? These tricks? I have them from my grandma. She used to be my father's grandma. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And before that, his father's. I've never seen her myself. She's very clever and kind. When I lived on the street, sometimes she left food for me, or a blanket in the winter. Sometimes I felt her stroking my hair as I fall asleep. If I open my eyes, there's no one near. Absolutely feeling like big hag energy or like fae energy from Ember. Obviously, she's got that kind of like warlock patron vibe going on. She also sent me soot. The girl scratches the crow's beak and the bird grumbles happily in response. She tells Soot how to do different tricks. Soot teaches me. Oh no! It is what it is. Her familiar was obviously sent by a powerful creature of good, perhaps an angel or fae. Didn't say exactly who. Powerful creature of good? I'm not saying that. Thank you for your answers. You're always so cheerful. How do you manage to remain so hopeful when we're surrounded by such horror? Hope? The girl tilts her head and continues with a smile. No. Hope is a lie. What should we hope for? This world is in the hands of demons. The gods can't help, or they don't want to. Or they forgot about us altogether. The people know they're about to be eaten by demons, but still they quarrel with each other and fight and steal. There's no hope. Only us. We'll have to win without hope. It will be hard. The entire abyss is against us. We can only win by some miracle. Which means we'll have to make one happen. What other choice do we have? We'll work a miracle and win. Because we have to. The elf smiles broadly and nods to herself. Oh, my goodness. She breaks my heart. Breaks my fucking heart. Let's talk to the storyteller. Hey, the blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some color. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my savior? I recognize your footsteps. Determined footsteps, befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. Storyteller's ring. Irabeth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Canabras that the local wardstone had been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I've examined many wardstones, but only in the one guarding Canabras did I sense a flaw. A spot of corruption inside. A vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it, get their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. Wardstone must be destroyed. Who are you and why did they let you examine the wardstone? The elf smiles faintly. I am the storyteller. Just an old elf. A bit more. I am old. For an elf. I have seen many things, have been to many places. So long ago I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the Stolen Land. Ha 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 ha! Led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful. This is not so uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services. I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant. Never hurt anyone. Stayed out of others' squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I had a few friends in Nerosian, vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request was to be allowed to see the wardstones was granted. Visited all of them. Only found cause for alarm in Canabras. Fueled some special magical power, some instinct? Yes, to a certain extent, but it is more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object, and shreds of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions, tragedies. See visions like I am them. Stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day, I will gather them all. Oof. Any thousands of years? My dude! What blight is concealed in the wardstone? I'm afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created. And it is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you ever heard of the Red Morning Massacre? Dreadful morning remembered with fear even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They say they covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Such an abomination darkened the radiance and gift of Iomade herself. The locals think this is impossible. Who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, the terrifying Baldur Koramzada. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Tuscari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years unnoticed by the people of Canabras. When the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in the demon's hand. Nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it, the other stones along the whole perimeter of the world womb. Why did you travel to the world stones? I tried to see their stories. Visions I had when I touched the ward stones were unclear. I saw hundreds, thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. Impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. I have heard of you, storyteller. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Canabras, but the demons might have something. I heard the dying roar of Tarindalev, the silver dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go to where Tarindalev perished and search there for something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but intuition, a strange sense of rightness, tell me to point you there. Aha! Present this purple stone knife. I found it in the square where Tarindalev perished. What do you make of it? Even from here, I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it, using my method. I'll try to see the past of its owner, their emotions, and shreds of their memories. Maybe it will help us better understand what we are dealing with. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy.
Hunger. My many legs bring me to the lair, to my mother's feasting hall. Swollen body overfilled with food. So huge that I have to look at it with all of my eyes at once. On top is her scrawny little head with a long beak, as always yearning for more food.
You feel feverish, and your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. It just burst in blood. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions that repeat the words of the old elf.
Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. Creep, wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings. Symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother ports to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark, buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters, the bone spurs on my heels, sinking into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off with the shreds of meat. Victory. I am the strongest. I am the son of my winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste, his voice normal again. Calling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. New vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old man. Malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the wardstone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the wardstone draws your attention. Looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. Will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with the knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light. White light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old elf's hands. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He is trembling, the terror in his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. Oh, what was that? That was not the past. That was something that is yet to happen. Or rather, something that might happen. One of the roads to the future. One of the possible futures. This item will help you to cleanse the wardstone. Or to destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It's hard to resist this feeling. At the last moment, your self-preservation instinct takes over. You manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me. How? I am not an oracle or a prophet. Is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing, but seeing stories that are yet to happen. I don't know why this is happening now, but there is one thing I am sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes, great changes. I shared your vision, and this knife tempted me. See what I saw. This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Perhaps something else happened to it. Don't yet understand. See the future? I don't know. Obviously I can. Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The future never opens its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have our paths crossed? I feel this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something, but what? Questions without answer. I swear this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's the knife that gives you the power of divination? This knife is a powerful artifact, but I feel that its power is of a different nature.
No, I felt the same as I do when I tell the past, this is my gift, manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw destined to happen? No, the future is not set. It used to be, a long time ago, when the god Eredin guarded Golarion. Not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, one of the paths leading to it. The choice has not been made. Our destinies are not set in stone. Who were you in your vision? Sounded like Discari. Maybe not. I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Powers are amazing. A few minutes ago I would have agreed with you. The thing that has just happened disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed. This change has frightened me. Remind me... Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of this could tell us a story. Actually, before we go further with this, we are pretty over the hour on this video. So, I love this lore. My god. This is one of the things that I absolutely adore about games like Pathfinder. And I think the Pathfinder series does such a great job at it. It's just really interesting lore. Like, it's really involved. It's really cool. It's typically pretty well written, you know. It's engaging and fun. So, if you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We are going to keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time for more Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.